Hey everyone! In this lesson, we're diving into CSS syntax and selectors, the tools that let you target specific parts of your HTML to style. At the end of the video, we'll recreate the Google logo. Let's get started. Here is the basic structure of CSS. We have the selector. This targets the element you want to style. In this case, it is the paragraph element. Next, we have the declaration block. This is where you write the styles for your element. Inside that, we have the declarations. These are written as property value pairs inside curly braces. In this example, the selector is a paragraph tag, which targets all paragraph elements. Inside the curly braces, we have two declarations, color and font size. Now let's level up by talking about selectors. Selectors help you target specific HTML elements. CSS gives us a lot of flexibility here. Here are a few CSS selectors that can target elements on a HTML page. ID and class selectors, compound selectors, descendant selectors, child selectors, general sibling selectors, universal selectors, adjacent sibling selectors, pseudo selectors, and attribute selectors. But first, let's get into element selectors. An element selector targets all elements of a specific type like P, H1, or div. Next, we have class selectors. Class selectors target all elements that have the class attribute attached. To target a class element, we use period before the class's value. In this example, we target the paragraph with the class equals first. In the CSS, we add the period followed by the value first and give the color blue. We do the same thing with the second paragraph, but with the color red. ID selectors. ID selectors are handy when you want to give one element a specific style. To use an ID selector, the ID attribute must first be included inside the opening element tag. Next, we need to target the ID in the CSS by first using the hashtag followed by the ID's value. Here, we have the ID of warning, and in the CSS, change the color and border to red. Compound selectors. Compound selectors allow us to target multiple elements at once. To select multiple elements at once, you separate the elements you would like to use with a comma. In this example, H3 and P elements both have uppercase applied. Descendant selectors. Descendant selectors target elements that are descendants of the preceding selector name. To use a descendant selector, you must first add the parent element, followed by a space, and then the element you would like to target. In this example, the div is the parent, followed by a space, and then the H3, which has been given the color blue. Child selectors. The child selector targets all elements that are children of the parent. To create a child selector, you add the parent selector, followed by a right angle bracket, and then the target selector. In this example, the H1, that is the immediate child of the section, is the only one that gets the color green applied. General sibling selectors. General sibling selectors target the element that comes right after the last element. To create general sibling selectors, you first state the preceding element, then add the tilde, followed by the element you'd like to target. In this example, both P tags get the CSS applied. Universal selectors. Universal selectors apply styling to all elements on the HTML page. In this example, All elements on the page have the color red. Adjacent sibling selectors. This selector targets the element that appears after the element mentioned. To create an adjacent sibling selector, you first add the element that is before the one you would like to target, add the plus symbol, followed by your target element. In this example, the H3 that is immediately after the H2 gets the styling. Pseudo-selectors. Pseudo-selectors target elements depending on the state of the element or its relation to others. To create a pseudo-selector, we add the element followed by the colon, then the action occurring on the element. In this example, this is what the button looks like before the cursor hovers over it. Then this is what happens when the cursor hovers over the button. The style is applied. Attribute selectors. Attribute selectors target elements that have a certain attribute. To target an attribute, you first add the element, followed by square brackets, and inside provide the type with a value. In this example, the date input is targeted with a width of 400 pixels, noticeably larger than the text input. Now it's your turn. Let's recreate this, the Google logo. Here is the code to get you started. Here we have a H1 and inside span wrapping all the letters of Google. IDs and classes have been added to each span. The body and H1 have also been styled just so the Google text is centered and is more visually appealing. At the bottom of the CSS page, an example has been provided for a hint. The color of each letter has been provided above the example. Give it your best shot and we'll be back in a second to see how it's done. Here is how it can be done. Guys, the first thing we're going to do is target this ID of red. So to do that, we use the hashtag and then red. We'll use color. We'll get the color from here. Copy all of it, paste it, and the red appears there. Now we'll do the class of yellow. So to do a class, we go period and then yellow, color, then we'll get this color from up here. Paste that, the yellow appears there. Next we'll do green, so period green, color, get the color from up here, paste it here. Last one, now we need the red, so period red, color, copy that, paste it here, save that. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Happy coding!